Welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. So I have an interesting gentleman for so many reasons, and I only really got to speak to him for a couple of minutes. But like I always tell you, I'm not a big DIY person, and I believe we all need support. We all need mentors. We all need help. It takes a village. It doesn't come overnight. With me is Ben, and I'm going to say hello to Mr. Ben here.
How's it going, Wayne?
And
Thank you for
he
that.
is from Four Seasons Sunrooms?
Absolutely.
Okay, so even though he said don't mention it, but he has two first names. He's so lucky.
All right, cat's out of the bag. So, yeah.
Okay, so do people mess up your, call you by your last name instead of your first name or whatever?
My whole life.
Really?
All through middle school, high school, it was always, my full name's Benjamin John, so it was always John Benjamin.
And I understand that, All right, so let's get over that part. Tell me about Four Seasons Sunrooms, because that's why you're here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it?
Well, it's a fully glass glazed sunroom. So Four Seasons Sunrooms, they've been in business for 50 plus years. I've been a part of the organization for 17 years, and the company I represent locally here has been in business probably 40 years. So there's a lot of accumulated experience, but what they do is we specialize in fully glass glazed conservatories, solariums, atriums, sunrooms. If you're looking for a fully glass glazed room, we're the exclusive company for that.
Okay, so how long are you around the industry?
17 years. I actually was an installer for 12 years. So I used to build these as a carpenter for 12 years before I started my own company for 5. And
so,
yeah.
So basically, I could have a picture in my mind when you said it.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is that they made it Four Seasons. So it has the thought of Four Seasons Hotel upscale. So you have the thing of upscale. Four Season also relates, in my mind, relates back to something that is made usable in all 4 seasons.
Absolutely.
And has benefit in each season. Okay, now we live in Florida, so this is the hottest place in the world sometimes. I see some old movies where you see a mansion, and outside the mansion is this totally enclosed glass room. And it's not a room. I mean, it's like as big as most people's houses sometimes.
Yeah, they can be big, and they're luxurious and elegant.
Are they? So what do people use them for?
So one of the primary reasons is it's an addition to a home in the most elegant way that they can utilize anytime. And on a side note, every time we build a sunroom, it always ends up being the most used room in the house. And the reason for that is just there's so many benefits. It just brings in, it's a great way to tie in the outdoors to your indoors and enjoy it in the comfort of your own home. And in here in Florida, like you said, it's primarily the heat. But if it gets chilly, it's still going to be able to retain some heat in there. But it's designed to retain the heat in the winter in the colder places, and then also kind of reflect the heat because it's very climate controlled. These rooms are engineered to be very climate controlled and super efficient. And the reason they're able to do that is because they have their own patented glass formulas that accomplishes that, along with all the components that tie it in together. So very efficient. And that's something I want to make sure I mention. When people think it's an all-glass room, they think, oh my God, this room's going to be really hot.
Right.
That's not the case.
So it's not specifically a greenhouse room.
People have used it for a greenhouse room.
I would think so. But
and I have built them for odd reasons, but primarily, no, it's not for that. It's a living space.
Okay, so my question is it custom or is there standard sizes?
It's custom, yeah. So they got custom sizes within, parameters you can choose.
Right.
But we're capable of doing custom stuff. Absolutely. Most of them are custom because, to be honest, they're more of a higher end product. And so when someone usually is making that type of an investment, they want to be able to customize it to the way they want. Understandably.
Okay. So you've done a number of them because you've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Have you seen changes in the industry since you started?
Well, the product itself has definitely changed for when we're talking about the performance of it.
Right.
all the things I mentioned before, from the components to the glass itself, has been modified to, be improved year after year after year. So that absolutely has been, that's why they've been the top sunroom company in the industry for 50 plus years now.
Wow.
But I would say that's the biggest change, is really just them looking at the functionality and the performance of the room itself and the components through the years, and getting feedback, and then improving their products based on that.
And I'm in the tech space here, and we're always seeing changes and
Yeah.
looking how we can improve. And that's what makes a company, in my opinion, successful.
Yeah.
Okay? So for you guys, making it more efficient is really going to be a benefit to the purchaser, of course. Do most people buy it as, how do I word it? So you have a picture in your mind when you say what you say.
Yeah.
So I have, of course, a picture of a greenhouse, but also have a picture of a room that almost looks like a crystal room,
Yes.
which has a table, and you entertain in that room. It becomes an entertainment space.
Yeah.
I know the glass or the construction is very efficient. Do they tint? Is the glass tinted? Is it reflective? I mean, how is it put together?
Yeah, so definitely tinting options. The roof glass itself has a little more of a tint to it, and there are actually tint options as well. If some folks want a little bit more of a tint than the standard,
Right.
you can do that. The standard is very efficient already. It's more of a preference at that point when it comes to aesthetics. But there are definitely options to the tinting of that. Again, just the standard coming out of the stock manufacturing plant, super high performance when it comes to energy efficiency and being able to climate control that new space.
All right, so you were on the construction end.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thought that I have is there, let's talk about electric,
Hmm.
because the whole thing is glass, right?
Yeah, it's an aluminum. It's a glass and aluminum combination.
Okay, is there outlets put in it?
There's a way, yes, components are modified to where it cleanly ties in outlets, switches, and fans and things of that nature.
Right, I was kind of thinking, because you, in a room like that you want to use more than just a greenhouse, you want electric,
Yeah.
and fans are always cool, no matter where you're at, okay? We have fans running in our house all the time. Even here, we have a fan that only to keep air moving.
Yeah.
Because I think that's so
Even that
important.
helps, yeah.
Yeah. So someone calls you up and they say, look, I heard about you. I want to extend on my house sunroom.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll call them first. We're going to make contact.
Right.
And start with a conversation.
And then what?
So the process is you'll get a call from me or one of the other representatives. Right now it's going to be me primarily. I'll ask you some basic information just so that I can get more information about your particular project and also give you more information. I'll answer any questions that you'll have on the phone. From there, if it makes sense, we'll set up an on-site visit, and then I'll go out there and we'll discuss your plans. I'll show you some pictures, examples of projects we've done. You're going to look at some of it and say, yes, that's what I would like to have. And then I'll spend about 20, 30 minutes on site doing an actual drawing for you. And by the time I'm done, I'll present you the drawing, the proposal, depending on the complexity of the project. Usually I can get a quote right on the spot and present it to you, and then see if you've heard enough to make a decision or what the next steps for you would be going forward. But that's the process. If you decide to move forward, we retain a deposit and we start that process, and we start doing the engineering, the city permitting. If HOA is involved, I'll handle all that. So we really try to take control over the whole process so that the homeowner doesn't have to worry about that. And they'll always know what's going on through it too. We're very good at communicating, giving updates.
Transparency.
Absolutely.
Oh, because everything's glass. So you have a lot of transparency.
I love that.
So, I mean, is there because I asked you about a standard, but size-wise, I guess it's priced out by size? as
Yeah.
one of the things?
Yeah, absolutely. Dimensions play a huge part in the cost.
Because I'm gonna guess that you're laying foundation.
Yep, we do that part. Yep.
So you do it all.
The only thing we don't do is the electrical and the flooring. So typically, we're just the sunroom experts. We'll build that. The foundation, we are fortunate to have a crew to do that
Okay.
in-house, so we don't sub that out. So we'll take care of the foundation or a deck or whatever.
So I can call somebody and say, this is the kind of flooring I want.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll coordinate all that too. We're really good at coordinating, and so we got a couple subcontractors that we are in alliance with, and so we can coordinate all that. But typically, the last two things that are done after the room is done is the flooring, and then the electrical gets tied in.
Just think, no painting. It's one thing you save. So,
Right.
okay, so I'm going to guess in 90%, maybe more, this sunroom is attached to the house,
Yes.
not a separate building.
It can be a freestanding, but 9 times out of 10, it's attached to the home.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, because again, when you talk about something like that, through my mind goes movies where you see a freestanding glass structure, which is usually a greenhouse, okay,
Right.
and or another room, but there's either a breezeway or a pavered thing to get to that. What do most people that you deal with want to use it for?
Added space, so it could be a number of reasons. You mentioned one earlier, entertaining. If you do a lot of entertaining, family members, friends, it's the perfect place to do that. It's just people use it for their office, you name it. It's a great way to just bring in a ton of natural light into your home, which is going to change your energy, your mood.
Right.
It adds value to your home. So if you potentially sell the home in the future, you're going to get a ROI, which is a return on investment for those who don't know the term. And in the meantime, you're going to be able to enjoy this added addition too before you actually get that ROI.
And this is going to be the question that everybody's going to come up with today, and that is, what about the roof?
So what about the roof? The glass roof, it's completely efficient. What's really cool is if you ever come to our home shows, we show you the efficiency of the glass and you can actually see it, but we'll set up a radiometer, a heat lamp, and put a piece of glass in the middle to show the efficiency. And the radiometer with the glass in front of it is barely moving, and you can put your hand right there and almost not even feel it at all. It's so efficient.
Okay, what about, again, I was thinking how to word it, but we live in the hurricane capital of the world. How efficient are they against hurricanes and stuff?
Well, we are certified with, what is the term around here? Not hurricane, impact glass.
Right.
So again, yes, we are exclusively the only company that does impact glass for fully glass glazed rooms.
So, okay. And
Yep.
that, impact glass, for me, that term has not been around forever. It's really fairly recent. And I've seen people who move into places with impact glass, and they say, no, you don't have to put boards up and you don't have to put shutters up. Because
Yeah.
that stuff is pretty heavy-duty strong.
Yeah, it is absolutely, and and there's tons of information on Four Seasons Sunrooms. They actually have videos of, where they kind of take a pendulum and swing it into the glass
Right.
and show you how much impact it can actually take.
Right.
And it can take an impact. It's very strong. The whole room is very stout.
And I guess it's insurable just like, I guess it's insurable because it has impact glass.
Yeah. So when it comes to the assessment of your home value after the room is done, I'm a little naive to that part, but I do know it does. You can include it as part of square footage,
Right.
and when it comes to home taxes and stuff like that, I'm a little naive, but there are some things you got to check into after the sunroom is built to your home.
Lastly, we live in Florida and it's always hot, but what about AC and heat? Central air and heat.
Yeah, and so there's a couple options. Sunrooms, there's either two things that happen with a sunroom when you add it to your house. Individual will either open up the walls
Right.
to basically tie it into the home
Mhm.
as a true addition permanently.
Right.
Or there might be some French doors or sliders that you can just simply walk out into with it too. So
I guess you can have vents put somewhere through there on,
Right.
on a lower side.
Right. So in that case, if you open up to the house and your BTUs for if you got a mini split or whatever system you got,
Right.
it usually can take the extra square footage depending on how many BTUs and the size of the room. But it's very easy to get a mini split system installed through that because there's ways to put fill panels and knee walls so that you can actually install those things and have something to screw to and secure it to.
I mean, depending on the kind of person you are, like someone like me, I love to have people over.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool place to sit at a table and eat something with your friends or play cards or whatever you choose to do. It kind of sets you apart from every other house. So when you spoke about looking to sell, this 5 houses that the realtor takes you to see, this is going to be something that's going to stick out in someone's mind.
Absolutely. I'm glad you pointed that out because it's a very unique structure,
Right.
castle-like.
Right.
You said the word crystal. It presents elegance and luxury, and it's very unique. You don't see that on a lot of homes. You're right.
No, I mean, I totally get that. All right, let's have a time. So people can find you on Facebook?
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you want to see, some pictures, there's a ton of jobs we've completed, and you can take a peek at that at Four Seasons Sunrooms by Arroyo Enterprises on Facebook. And that'll do justice because it's one thing for me to explain these rooms to you.
Of course.
But for someone who has no idea what I'm talking about and they see a picture of it, it's definitely a wow factor, and it's much more of a beauty in a picture, or most certainly in person, than me describing it.
I have to tell you, you should definitely go look, because even as he discussed it, in my mind came, how cool is it to have something like that, because it is elegant, and it makes you stand out from every other house, and it's where people are going to want to kind of hang out, because you're right, light is really important for your mood.
Absolutely.
And your health. Ben, Tom,
Wayne, it's been a pleasure, brother.
Everybody, check them out. Go look them up on Facebook. We'll be right back.